All right, guys, what's going on? Welcome in. So, look, today is December 1st, meaning that the New York Jets have 5 more games left before their season ends and their offseason begins, right? And really, the offseason is it's really just a beautiful time, right? It's a perfect opportunity for teams out there to not only just reload and rebuild, via free agency, through the draft, but it gives teams an opportunity to look at themselves in the mirror and iron out the kinks, right? Fix the issues that currently face that specific team. And the biggest issue that the New York Jets are facing as we stand today is the coach, right? It's Adam Gase. It's the entire coaching staff. So all signs are pointing to the New York Jets organization parting ways with Gase on Black Monday, which is something that I feel like I can speak for a lot of Jets fans. We're all hoping for that to happen. There's obviously changes that need to be made with this Jets squad. Okay, that's obvious. So I like to ask myself 3 basic questions when I'm looking at these different coaching candidates, right? Question number 1, do you envision him winning a Super Bowl within 6 years? 6 years of getting hired, do you envision having a Super Bowl championship? If the answer is no, then you should probably move on or go with a different candidate, okay? 6 years in the eyes of some might feel like a long time. I mean, look at Adam Gase. I mean, the guy's probably going to be out the door in 2. Steve Wilkes was out in 1. 6 years, though, I feel like is a solid threshold. If it takes longer than 6 years, I just feel like you're kind of wasting time. You can get it done quicker. I mean, that's 6 draft classes, that's 6 periods of free agency, that's 6 years of growth and development from not only just the players, but as a coaching staff as a whole. I think it's pretty self-explanatory. I think if you can't envision the guy that you're bringing in to win a Super Bowl within 6 years, I don't think it's the right guy. Okay, so that's question 1. Question number 2, stability in the short term. What does that mean? Well, if you just fired your staff and you're interviewing different candidates and you're looking to bring on a new head coach, chances are you're not a good football team. Okay, Texans, Falcons, who else? Jets, Lions, probably the Jaguars. Okay, all of these different teams, they're not good. Okay, these are not good football teams. So you have to bring in a guy that can right the ship, right? The weather is going crazy, but he can navigate through the waters, hang tight, and everybody's going to remain on board and trust the process, okay? So a couple of really good examples for stability in the short term: Kyle Shanahan of the San Francisco 49ers and Ron Rivera of the Washington football team. In Shanahan's case, go look at Shanahan's record early on with the 49ers. They were not winning a lot of games, okay? They had holes all over the roster. They had a lot of cap space, but they needed help at corner. They needed linebackers. They needed edge rushers. There was question marks about the quarterback. It was Brian Hoyer. Just look at the head coach position as a whole. First it was Harbaugh, then it was Chip Kelly, then Tom Sula, and then Kyle Shanahan walks in the building and he's losing a bunch of games. But here's the difference. The players were bought in. The players were trusting the process, okay? Yeah, they needed help. Yeah, they were losing a bunch of games, but Kyle Shanahan got players to buy in to his process, to his vision, and lo and behold, the 49ers were in the Super Bowl last year, okay? In Ron Rivera's case, yeah, the football team, they're not that good, okay? They're in second place in the NFC East, and everybody makes fun of that division, obviously. But do you see any question marks about firing Ron Rivera? The players absolutely love him. They'll follow him to the end, okay? So a couple of bad examples: Adam Gase and Matt Patricia, right? 2 guys that instantly walk into their respected locker rooms, Detroit and New York, and they instantly blow it up, right? There's issues with players. There's locker room, I don't want to say locker room beef, but players aren't buying in. Players are keeping to themselves. I mean, in Detroit's case, I mean, you had players literally celebrating after the year ended so they didn't have to practice. They didn't have to deal with Patricia. You had players saying, like Richard Sherman, I'm not signing in Detroit because I don't want to be a part of Matt Patricia's culture. I mean, that is a guys like that, complete disaster. You're never going to win a Super Bowl with guys like that at the helm, okay? Question number 3. All right, question number 3. Success, consistent success in the long term. Okay, a couple of good examples. John Harbaugh of the Baltimore Ravens. When are the Ravens ever picking top 3? When have the Ravens had the first pick? I mean, it's been years. It's been a decade. I mean, the Baltimore Ravens are literally they're a perfectly ran team, okay? Yeah, they don't have a million Super Bowls. They're not Dallas or San Francisco, Pittsburgh, New England, but they are in the thick of it each and every year. They can adjust. Players are buying in every single year. It doesn't matter who they roll out there, who's hurt, who's injured, who gets traded, who they bring in, veterans, young players, rookies. The Baltimore Ravens are going to win their fair share of games. You know that they're going to be a tough out, okay? John Harbaugh. Another couple guys that just pop into my head. Sean Payton, Mike Tomlin. All right. Mike Tomlin's case, it's a little bit different because Pittsburgh, man, like I feel like I feel like the Pittsburgh head coach never really changes, right? I feel like I've only been through, when I was younger, it was Cowher, and now obviously Tomlin. But I mean, we saw it last year. Antonio Brown, drama. Le'Veon Bell sits out. Ben Roethlisberger hurt. We have Duck Hodges playing. We have Mason Rudolph playing. Mason Rudolph gets his, head cracked by Myles Garrett. Like, you have all these, things coming out about Pittsburgh. But, I mean, do you see TJ Watt causing an issue? I mean, the defense is completely bought in. Pittsburgh's a 10-0 football team this year. They didn't overreact. Why? Because Mike Tomlin mans the ship, right? He knows what he's doing. Every single year you can count on the Pittsburgh Steelers being a solid football team. Again, they're going to draft wide receivers. Middle of the round, they're going to produce, right? Middle of the draft, I should say. Round 4, round 5. They're gonna draft diamonds in the rough. They're not really going to go out and sign these big money free agents, but they develop their guys. Why? Because everybody trusts Mike Tomlin to get the job done. Sean Payton, same thing. Yeah, he had a couple of average years, 7-9, 7-9. There's middle of the road type seasons. But I mean, players buy in after they continuously get screwed in the playoffs, right, by whatever horrible call, whatever the case may be. The Saints, again, lo and behold, they're one of the best teams in the National Football League. Why? Because of Sean Payton and his overall ability to lead and game plan and be a head coach in the National Football League. Some bad examples, we're seeing it this year, Matt Nagy, Doug Peterson. Yeah, they can start off really fast. They can call great game plans. They can look at the roster and mold it to, for how they like. But long term, do we really think Doug Peterson's going to be in Philly for the next 15 years? I like Dougie P. I do. I like Matt Nagy a lot. But is Matt Nagy going to be the Bears head coach for the next 10 seasons? I don't think so. He just got hired. He went to the playoffs. He had an average season. He had an above average season. And now there's already talks about Chicago letting him go. I mean, that's not success in the long term, okay? And I know it's early. He could turn things around. So, I mean, I get that hindsight's always 20/20, right? And it's definitely a tough thing to identify. But I mean, look at even Chip Kelly, right? Coming from Oregon, stepping into Philadelphia, a bad football team, instantly takes them to the playoffs, okay? Electrifying offense. I think they had 10 wins that year. But then in just a couple of years after that, he's like the most hated guy in Philadelphia. He's way too high, and then he completely fell off a cliff, okay? So I don't want to be one of these roller coaster ride head coaches. Great year, horrible year, great year, horrible year. Everybody hates him. Everybody loves him. No. Let's build a team like Baltimore. Let's build a team like the Saints. Let's build a team like New England, like Seattle, like Pittsburgh, where we're not always favored to win the Super Bowl each and every season, but we're going to be in the mix. We're going to always be maybe a wild card. Maybe we can win the division. Just that constant success. Just boom, every year. Doesn't really matter who the players are. Okay, because we have him, right? We have him leading our team. We have John Harbaugh, Mike Tomlin, Sean Payton. You get the point. You guys know where I'm going with this. So a couple of qualities that I look for, right? Things that really appeal to me. Guys who can maximize the talent of the players on their roster. Okay, a perfect example of this is Matt Eberflus, the defensive coordinator of the Indianapolis Colts. Quite frankly, a guy who I've been raving about for 2 years now. Okay, I mean, this guy should definitely get a head coaching interview, but I digress. Okay, think about the Colts defense for just a second. Take Deforest Buckner and put him to the side. Who else do they have that really pops into your head? Do they trade for a big money guy like Jalen Ramsey, like Jamal Adams, like Marcus Peters, like Khalil Mack? No, they did not. They don't have a Von Miller. Okay, all of these guys are young. They're drafted. Everything about the Colts defense is homegrown, which I really like. Even if they didn't necessarily draft the player, they bring these guys in, and then you just see this development just go through the roof. These players just get so much better in such a short period of time. It's absolutely incredible. Okay. And again, Deforest Buckner was the guy that they traded a first round pick for. They obviously, to San Francisco, they brought him in and signed him to a big money contract. But again, outside of him, I mean, Darius Leonard, second round pick, Teray out of Rutgers, second round pick. And now Malik Hooker, I really, really liked him out of Ohio State, but, injuries and whatnot. But I still think he's a solid player when he's actually out there. Rock Ya-Sin on the outside. Matt Eberflus maximizes his talents on the defensive side of the football. That is a major, major quality that's attractive to me. Another one, okay, a guy who can look at his roster and put his players in the best position to have success. And yeah, that kind of goes hand in hand with the first one. But I mean, again, look at John Harbaugh with the Baltimore Ravens, all right? All these years with Joe Flacco, right? Immobile Joe Flacco, can't move around, can't keep it on a read option, can't extend plays. He drafts Lamar Jackson in the first round, trades up for Lamar Jackson, and just says, you know what? We're going to build the entire roster, the entire offensive coaching staff around Lamar Jackson. We're going to go get some tight ends, Hayden Hurst, Mark Andrews. We're going to get guys that can fly down the football field, Marquise Brown, to keep the safeties on their heels. And we're going to get a lot of running backs, J.K. Dobbins, Mark Ingram. Okay, Lamar Jackson's going to be that essentially second running back there, just dicing it up, just putting defenses, scaring the life out of defensive coordinators, okay? I like how John Harbaugh can, he has the ability, he has the smarts to say, you know what, it's time to move off of Flacco. Let's draft Lamar Jackson, pretty much the exact opposite of Flacco, and let's change, let's bend, let's form, let's mold this offense around a guy and put Lamar in the best position to have success, okay? Let's not make Lamar Jackson go under center and do 8-step dropbacks all day. He's great out of the shotgun. He's great running the football. Let's let him do it. Pin his ears back and just fly down the football field, okay? It's a great quality. It's a fantastic, fantastic quality, okay? Another quality that I really, really, really like is culture, right? Guys that put so much emphasis on culture, right? To get players to not only just trust the players around them, right? Trust that their teammates are going to make plays when their numbers are called, but they trust the system. They know where to be, right? They trust the coaching staff. It doesn't matter what ESPN is saying about you. It doesn't matter what people are commenting on your social media posts. It doesn't matter how many Twitter followers you have. It doesn't matter what your record is. Go 1-0 every week. Trust your brothers. Trust the coaching staff. Trust the system, and everything is going to be a-okay. We're going to upset a lot of teams out there. People are going to start to recognize, but PJ Fleck, row the boat, right? Focus on going 1-0 every week. Trust the guys around you and move forward. Create that culture. Seattle, Pittsburgh, New England. These teams have a culture. The Saints, the Chiefs, they know what they want to do. They have a vision. They have their system. They have their players. They know what they are. It's all about trust. And they're moving forward from there. They're winning games and they're moving forward. If they lose, you're not really losing. It's just a learning experience onto the following week, okay? Last but not least, on-field expectations. Okay, what I expect to see from players on the field, okay? And this can obviously go in a bunch of different directions. Every team out there kind of has their own identity, what they expect from their players. The Kansas City Chiefs, it's high scoring. We're going to throw the football. Deal with it. We're going to let Tyreek Hill run go routes pretty much the entirety of the game, and we're going to let Travis Kelce catch passes underneath, try to stop us. That's the Chiefs, right? New England Patriots, we're going to focus on details. We're not beating ourselves. We're not turning the football over, and we're not getting flagged. Try to beat us. If you turn the ball over once, we're going to win the game. We're going to beat you with time of possession. Okay, we're going to throw the ball short. We're going to let the clock go. We're pretty much just going to suck the life out of every single defense we play. From time to time, we'll, hang 40 on an opponent. But for the most part, that's not really our game. We're just not going to beat ourselves. Okay, so obviously it can go in a bunch of different directions here. So what are my on-field expectations? Right, what I personally like to see out of my football teams, I want my football team to punch the opponent in the mouth over and over and over and over again for 60 minutes. Okay, I want to physically beat down the opponent, wear them down. I want Patrick Mahomes, Deshaun Watson, Josh Allen, Russell Wilson, Tua, Ryan Fitzpatrick to slowly trot off the field on a 3-and-out and think to themselves in their heart of hearts, I don't want to go back out in the field. I am afraid of getting hit. I can't stand in the pocket. I can't go through my reads because this defense is tenacious. This defense is aggressive. This defense is violent. They are not afraid. They are not holding back at all. Not holding back in the least, okay? There's really not much you can control in life. right? You can't control the weather. You can't control the talent level. You can't control where you're drafted, the division you play in, the conference you play in, but you can control two things: effort and attitude. All right, you can control how fast you want to play. You can control how hard you want to hit. For the New York Jets to be a winless laughingstock, the absolute joke of the National Football League, we need some respect. I want my football team to play with a lot of aggression. I want to physically dominate the football game in the trenches. I want to be the team that everybody else looks at their calendar and says, damn it, we have to play the Jets. Get ready for a fist fight. Get ready for a dogfight. Get ready for an absolute bloodbath in the trenches on the field, because that's what it's going to be. Because the New York Jets, they don't mess around. They don't play games. We're going to be getting their best effort. They're going to come in full attack mode, okay? They're going to be coming at everybody, all right? They're going to be hitting hard, and we have to keep our heads on a swivel, all right? Because these dudes are not messing around. Just an overall domination of physicality. So I'll leave it there. Let me know your thoughts down below in the comment section. What do you guys look for in potential head coaches? I mean, I've talked to a lot of people. It seems to me like a lot of guys are attracted to Eric Bieniemy, and rightfully so, you know, coming from Kansas City. Also, you know, Arthur Smith is also, you know, super big name. A couple of guys want some college dudes, maybe a Harbaugh, maybe a Matt Campbell. We'll see. But yeah, let me know your thoughts down below in the comment section. And as always, thanks so much for watching, and go Jets.